What's happening, everybody? Jason and Brandy back for another video and audio version of the podcast. What episode is this now? 159, I believe.
9, yes.
Awesome. Number 3 for you and 159
Woo!
for the mothership. So what's on your mind today? Can I share a funny story before we dive in?
Could I stop you if I tried?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was talking to this guy earlier in the week, and we're talking about setting up his email account properly with ActiveCampaign. And he kind of told me what he thought was there and what he thought he should do. And I said, all right, I do this all the time. Let me jump in your account. I'll make a screen share video and I'll show you what I'm seeing and recommend some, where you should go from here. Oh, perfect. So people love that. I sent him the video, and a day later he was like, I'm really confused. Like, I'm not following you. And I was like, man, how could he not be following me? I must be missing something. So we set up another call, and I got on the call with him, and he was talking, and I just had this weird feeling. So I was like, let me check the video I sent him. And it was a video of just me like this, like looking at the camera. It didn't record my screen. So I just looked like a complete idiot. And I was really tired, and like my face was all red and blotchy, and like one of my eyes was closed. I was like, what's wrong with me? And I told the guy, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Apparently I hit the wrong button, but now I understand why none of it made no sense. So
That's awesome.
That has nothing to do with anything, but I just thought people would get a kick out of it. So
I think that has to do with operational excellence. Let's make sure what we send to people is exactly what we mean to send to people.
I think everybody has sent that email when they're like, oh boy, that went out and I can't get it back.
No, my classic is, please review this and send it back, and then I never attach anything or give them a link. And I literally did that 3 times yesterday. Like, I sent things to people and say, hey, just let me know what you think. And they're like, was there supposed to be something attached? It's like, it's not good. Not a good day for that.
I did this more than once, but when I was in the corporate world, I can remember putting together an email where I was, annoyed with something, and I sent it, and I was like, I sent it to the person it was about. Oops.
Oh.
So that's when I'm like, sorry I sent it, but I guess at least you know how I feel. I guess we'll go on from here. I mean, what do? You just own it,
You don't really have much choice at that point. And it should be a lesson: never write those things in an email, because even if you didn't send it to them, somebody else would have.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you have planned for us today? I'm letting Brandy take control of the show, because when I edited the last show and I heard how I ended that show and I just completely forgot she was alive, I felt horrible. And then nobody will know this, but when my son did the video, he was under a lot of pressure and I rushed him. I was like, why is the video so short? And I looked, and he cut her out of the end of the video. So I had to redo it. I was like, you can't cut her out. I was like, I cut her out verbally, then we just erased her. I was like, So I stayed up and redid it and added her back in. I was like, she's going to put a hit out on me, son.
Most hilarious thing I've heard all day. That's awesome.
I kept looking at that time, and I was like, man, that's like 35 seconds too short. What's going on here? So,
well, maybe someday when I'm important enough, he'll let me have my spot on the end. It'll be a glorious day for all of us.
So my way to make that up to you is you let us know where we're going from here today.
Okay. Well, thanks. I thought that was your way of saying I didn't really have much planned, so I hope you do. Go for it, Brandy.
Either way, the ball's in your court.
If you're listening or watching, he does get a pass. He told me earlier in the week, he's like, I'm completely buried. Like, hang in there with me, and so you get a pass today, but you only get a limited number of those, so don't use them sparingly.
All right, we'll do.
So I had my day job, or whatever you call it, is I do corporate consulting. This is not my day job.
Friday.
It's Friday. It's been a long week. But we do corporate consulting, and we actually consult on customer experience. So, but we had a company contact us, and what they really were looking for was a marketing agency. But we talk so much about your what you're saying and building raving fans and how you're experiencing your customer and what insights you get from those customers and how all that builds together, that he contacted us to say, what I'm looking to do is hire a marketing agency, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I was like, well, okay, cool. This is, one of the hats I wear at our company is the marketing hat. That doesn't mean you should Nice. I don't think that was it. But if you're just listening, he's like trying his hats on over there. I'm scared that the big yellow hat's Nice. Big yellow hat's going to come out in a minute. Curious George? No.
Nobody? I do have a really large number of hats to my right. Anyway.
So my initial reaction was, okay, so what do you need to know about your company before you spend money on a marketing campaign? Because what happens, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner, you think, I need more customers, which is exactly what this guy was doing. We asked him, like, why do you want to start a marketing campaign? His response was, I want more customers. We had to turn the ship a little bit and correct some things, and we are doing well now. So it's time for more customers. And I was like, okay, great. But what are you going to do if you get more customers? Right? Like, so are you set up for more customers? So are you set up to actually spend money on a marketing campaign? So I have 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 questions that you should answer before you spend money on a marketing campaign. So we're just going to use my little sitting duck right here, Mr. Jason Wright, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Now you can answer these as your own business because you have a very successful business, or you can answer them as what someone should answer them. So I'll let you decide per question.
Okay. I'm very hesitant to tell people how they should answer for things. I think people roll with whatever they feel like the right answer is for them.
Oh, see, that's a very politically correct answer.
I was in HR for 7 years.
All right. So question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
This one, everybody's going to know. This is the first question that everybody's going to pop in their head. And I'm going to throw it out there because it's the right one. First question is, who is your target? Who are you talking to?
So you want me to answer this for me, or you want me to just...
You can surprise me. Just go for it.
All right. So for me, I know who it is. It's other entrepreneurs and it's digital agencies. For me, the entrepreneurs are going to be $300K a year in revenue and more. But here's the funny part. I didn't know who my ideal customer was for a long time. I think most people, I would venture to say most businesses think they know who their customer is, but a lot of them have no idea. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just, it's people that eat and breathe and go to the bathroom. Okay. Can we get any more detail? How did you
figure it out?
Just once I figured out what the right types of jobs were that I got, I started seeing the pattern. I started to say, oh man, I thought it was these folks, but these folks are the ones to work with, A, because they pay, and B, because they're serious, or, whatever the case may be. So it takes time. It can take time to kind of evolve and figure out, depending on how you want your business to be. Because for me, if I hate doing a piece of my business, I'm going to do everything in my power to pivot away from it. Part of the reason I'm in business for myself, I'm not doing this to be miserable. I want to make an impact and enjoy what I do. And that means constantly reflecting on what I'm doing, who I'm working with, how I'm working with them. So for me, it wasn't a linear process to figure that out at all. And it could change more. It could be even more specific down the road. But yeah, it's you've got to figure out not necessarily who you're working with, but who that ideal client is. You can work with a bunch of people and make money, but you can be making $3 an hour plus a McDonald's milkshake for pay because you're running ragged and it's not good work. So,
and it's not even a Steak and Shake milkshake.
That's a reference to the previous episode. If you haven't heard it, go listen now.
So. No, I think that's exact. I mean, we could do a whole show on just how to define your target, but it is critical. And it's funny because that little phase with PHASE, phase that you were talking about, we call that the middle school years, right? So when you're growing up and you're in middle school, you're like, okay, I kind of like doing football. Yeah, I didn't like getting hurt. No, I kind of like soccer. Yeah, there's a lot of people there trying to kick me. So you're kind of figuring out who you are. And then when you hit your freshman year in high school, you're like, okay, I think I got an idea here, but you're still not perfect yet. You're always readjusting. Your whole life you're readjusting to define it. But yeah, the middle school years of your business are that time when you're like, okay, well, let's try this. Let's just see how it rolls. And if it doesn't work, then we'll try something different. It's middle school.
Yep.
So no, that's really good. And I think I'm glad that you expressed that, because I think that so many small business owners experience that, and then they get frustrated because you forget that it's a path, right? Like you think you open this business, you start in the world and you got it, and you forget this is going to grow and it's going to change and it's going to evolve. So
I'm drawing something on the fly. You ever see this little thing online? So obviously you got to watch. You see, so that top line is how people think the path to success is, where you are to where you want to go.
Which is a straight line. If you're just listening, it's just a straight line left to right.
And the reality is it's more like a ball of hair that you found in your cafeteria salad. It goes all over the place, up, down, backwards, and it's chaos. But
it's chaos.
For me, the love is in the journey. I love the chaos, this specific type of chaos. And a lot of people aren't cut out for it. But yeah, I mean, it's...
of course, that could be your ADHD, but that's okay. We won't...
It's just ADD. The hyperactivity piece, I don't have that, just the ADD. So.
It's a judgment-free zone. It's okay.
It is.
Okay. No, but that is correct. It is a big squiggly ball of hair, and you go round and round until you figure it out. So, all right. Well done. You get an A for that question.
Oh, thanks.
Question number dos. So this one has a little piece of background that I want to share, just because it's really critical, and I don't think people ever think about it. So you may have heard me just throw out the word operational excellence a little bit earlier. That was a little tease in case you didn't notice. So that is one of the critical pieces that we do as consultants, is we help companies figure out their operational excellence, because operational excellence, doing your job well consistently, equals trust. So if you take OE, put a little equal sign, it's trust. So here's the difference. If you go to McDonald's, I know we always pick on McDonald's. I don't know why. We're going to get a lot of publicity when they sue us. That's what's going to happen.
This podcast has been sponsored by McDonald's.
Of course, they might not like this one. So if you go to McDonald's, Jason, tell me about your French fry experience at McDonald's.
I'm not a big McDonald's French fry guy.
Okay, well.
How about the cookies? I know all about the cookies.
I don't know anything about the cookies, but tell me about the cookies, and then I'll go back to the question.
Okay, at most locations that aren't complete capitalist pigs, they still sell them for $3 for $1. Some are at $2 for $1 now, but they're generally sugary, soft, and flavorful, as they should be.
And that is a good cookie. So
it is a good cookie.
That's a win. So I'm going to tell my experience at McDonald's French fries, because I actually really like McDonald's French fries.
Okay.
But here's what happens. Day one, I go to McDonald's and I get my French fries, and they're like perfect. They're like hot and crisp, and they have the perfect amount of salt on them. Mm-hmm. Day two, I go to McDonald's, perfect, hot, crisp, perfect amount of salt. Day three, they're old, they're cold. Even the soggy ones, which I actually like, are like so terrible I can't even eat them. Day four, terrible. Day five, fabulous. Day six, terrible. There's no consistency, right? Mm-hmm. If I go to Chick-fil-A, what kind of fries am I going to get?
Waffle.
Mm-hmm. Perfect every time.
Yep.
Why? Because they put measures around their operations. So there's like, I don't know, 24 measures of what your chicken sandwich is supposed to taste like. Like it has the between the breading and the temperature and how long it can sit on the little thing. Like they time every single thing that goes out. They can't be out for more than 5 minutes, or they take it off and put a new one out. No matter what time of day you go, you're always going to get some consistency, because here's the headpiece that makes people understand this. So McDonald's is inconsistently good. But being inconsistently good is actually worse than being consistently bad. Because if your fries are terrible, I'm going to know, I'm going to go there and I'm not going to get the fries, but I'm going to get something else because I know what to expect. I trust that I know what to expect. If you tease me with these amazing fries and then the next time I go and they're terrible, I don't trust you anymore. I don't know what you're going to give me. So, with all that background, question number 2 is, what does your customer need from you in order to trust you?
Can I ask a question about what you just said first?
Sure.
Is this just by chance being fueled by a recent bad fry experience? I feel like you were there this morning and you screamed profanity at the people working there because it's like the third time in a row it was terrible.
Yeah, I'm actually not very good at that. Like, I
No?
don't
Inside, were you
actually,
dying inside? Because I feel
I
some
die inside,
intensity
yes.
in you. That I'll be honest with you. I'm a little scared right now because I'm like, man, she's very intense right now. And she's
Uh-oh.
smiling. You're there. We'll edit it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Repeat whatever you just said because I didn't hear it.
I said, you're speaking today with this intensity about you and a smile, which makes it really scary. So I feel like,
I love
man, dang it. There's that internet again.
Yeah, what's up with your
I don't
internet,
know. We'll
Andy?
just pause for a moment. I'll edit this out. All right. I feel like you're speaking with an intensity today about these fries. It's kind of scary because you're smiling, but you're very, very, very serious. There's almost like little flames in your pupils. And I'm like, wow,
Oh,
I'm glad there's a bunch of states between us. I'm scared right now. So
fries are serious stuff,
did you have
man.
a
I mean,
recent bad fry experience?
if you don't understand how important fries are in the world, you've got serious problems. We're going to have to talk about that later.
I
There may
like,
be therapy required.
I like how you won't answer my question. Did you have a recent bad fry experience?
Actually, no, I don't eat fries very often, which is
No?
probably why they're so important to me.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you. All right, we'll go to question
Do
2.
you
What
know
was
what the
question
number 1 sold item at Chick-fil-A is? I bet you can guess
2?
now. It's the
Waffle fries.
fries.
You know, Chick-fil-A's, all right, this is funny. This is the other thing I was going to tell you. So their spicy chicken sandwich for me is the perfect sandwich. And if
Mm.
anybody on earth, anybody listening, I don't care where you are in the world, because we have an international audience, if you eat that sandwich and you tell me you don't like it, you're lying. There's no
You don't
way
like spicy.
you're lying. I don't care what the excuse is. It's so simple and clean and fresh, and it's the perfect blend that you're just lying to yourself and everybody you love and care about if you don't like that sandwich. I just don't get it. My wife's like, I don't like Chick-fil-A. I'm like, what?
What
So,
is wrong with her?
so I've got these divorce papers just waiting to sign for she
I
pushes me
think
too
this
far.
may be important. I think you're going to have further discussions on, or at least counseling.
Is that not normal? Is that not a normal?
No.
All
Yeah.
right.
So the
Question 2.
spicy chicken is my favorite as well.
Yes, good.
I passed the test. It is my favorite.
So you were probably startled that I said that, actually. Probably like,
I actually like the spicy chicken biscuit in the morning too, but we
hmm,
don't do that anymore.
gotcha. So, all right. What was
All right, so
question
back to
2?
the question that you avoided by tangenting us.
Mhm.
What does your customer need from you
Yep.
to trust you?
Just need an opportunity to work with me first. So as weird as that sounds, I mean, social proof's great, conversations are great, but most people that I personally work with start with a simple project. And I tell people, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, we're going to start with what you're saying with a project because it gives you a chance to feel me out, gives me a chance to blow your freaking mind by exceeding your expectations, and you'll know exactly what the rest of our relationship looks like. And it works very, very well for me. You know, social proof's great, everything's great, but your own experience with somebody or something is what makes or breaks it. So,
So what do they get in that experience?
um, so depending on the type of project, I mean, I give them the deliverables that they're looking for. I give them very easy to comprehend and digest information, very good communication, and I always try to find a way to give more value than they're paying me for as well, so they get a little surprise or two as well.
So what I heard in there was you set expectations. You
Mhm.
tell them ahead of time what the deliverables are going to be.
Yep.
So they know what to expect and then they're pleased when you do actually deliver on them on time, I'm hoping.
Yep. And if not, I'm gonna find a way to make it up. Like if you're mad about that, hell, I'll give it to you for free if that makes you feel better. because the value's in the long-term relationship anyway. So I'll
Absolutely.
literally
And
do whatever I need to do to make it right.
yeah, the goal is to do it right. But life happens and sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But you have to retain the relationship with the value.
Yep.
And then you also said something else, which is you you go beyond their expectations if you can. So like you're making them feel valued and special because you've done something for them
Yep.
in some extra way.
Yep.
So that is the core of what your customer needs. They need to trust you. And the things that you said were exactly what I was looking for anyway. Like you set expectations and then you meet them. That's how you find trust. Now, if you're a software company, they need your software to work every time, right? Like if it crashes, if I bought a Mac and it crashed every 5 minutes, I wouldn't be a Mac fan anymore. But I have to throw out that my new Surface Book is pleasing to work on as a Mac, so I might be converting. But I know it.
That's
I know
crazy talk right there.
it is really nice.
Between the intensity in the eyes, the little flames in the pupils, and the crazy talk, I'm getting nervous. What's happening here?
And this is only episode 3. What are you going to do? We're still in the dating phase here. Come on. Oh, don't tell your wife I said that. I didn't mean that.
She doesn't watch this stuff anyway. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. We're safe. Okay. All right. So number 1, 3 questions you need to answer before you spend money on a marketing campaign. Number 1, who is your target? Who is your ideal client? Who are you looking to talk to? Number 2, what does your customer need from you to trust you? So if you're not performing those things, selling to a bunch of people is just going to shoot you in the foot because it doesn't do any good to bring in new customers if you don't deliver on your product. And once you have what your operational excellence figured out is, then the third question is, what processes do you have set up that are scalable? So if I'm working on an average day, but I'm just barely getting everything done for my current clients, but I want to do this big marketing campaign because I want more clients. I want to make more money. Who doesn't, right? Every small business does. Every business, doesn't matter if you're small or not. But do you have processes in place that are scalable? So here's my example, so you know what I'm talking about. One of the things that a company that's growing works on, say you're a consultancy or you do services or you provide products, whatever. You do a proposal, you throw it out there, statement of work, all that stuff needs to be done. But if you're spending, 4 hours writing your proposal every day, when are you spending time working on your product? So if you're spending all your time doing one thing, then you don't have time for more customers. So what processes do you have in place to make sure you're scalable? That's for you, Jason.
I gotta actually answer that now. So you want me to answer about my business again? Just the
Sure,
working example, stay consistent. So it's interesting because I figured out a long time ago, I'm not scalable, just like you're not scalable. No one person is scalable. So like you said, the process piece is huge. For me, and I don't have any problem sharing this, but what I want to do is on the front end now, I've got to a point where I do 2 things. I'm either going to do a review of your digital marketing and make little videos and show you what I'm looking at and what you need to do to fix it. That's one price. Or I'm going to build you a funnel. Those are the only 2 things you're going to get from me on the front end, because I know that the chances of both of those converting into agency clients is very high. Nothing else is worth my time. Seriously. So what I can do is I can replace that front end piece that I'm doing now with information products through funnels and through online courses. The back end, I can literally be the mastermind behind the scenes and hire account managers and say, hey, account manager, this is the exact system I use with Slack for the communication and this for this and this for that. This is the arena that you need to use for tools. Own your process however you want to, because that micromanaging crap killed me in corporate America. And then the end results are all that matter. This is a flat rate I'll pay you per month per client. And this person can make 6 figures and the company will make 6 figures as well. And I can keep scaling the back end of the company with account managers that feel like they have their own company. Like they're not going to get benefits or anything, but they're going to have good money and time to do whatever they want. So I can scale the front and the back end of my company and pull myself out of it whenever. So I've thought about that and realized that had to happen. Otherwise I was going to be working 100 hours a week the rest of my life. And that's why a lot of people never grow past a certain point. Hey, Bob, the carpenter or whatever has always made good money, but it's always been just him and a part-time guy. And they never get past a level because what got you there is not going to take you to the next place. And like you said, you're not scalable, Bob. So you've got to have processes so you can say, hey, Eric, or hey, Jane, if you do these things here, you'll be successful.
Exactly. You would think that we rehearse this or whatever, because you got the perfect answers for all 3 questions. I'm so proud of you.
Just so people listening hear that. So she's being dead serious. Right before the show, I said, hey, you're in control today. You run with it. And that's literally all we said. I said about now, because I just saw a school bus go by. I said, stuff might get noisy in the background, but other than that, let's roll. So this is unrehearsed for sure.
Yeah, that's if you haven't noticed, it's definitely unrehearsed, but I think it's all good. That's called authenticity. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are the 3 questions that if you're ready to start spending money on your marketing, which you should, that's an important step in growing your business. But you got to know the answers to those 3 questions. 1, who is your target client? Who's your ideal client? 2, what does your customer need from you to trust you to make sure you are operationally excellent? Are you doing what you said you're going to do? And what processes do you have? So if when you get all these new clients from the marketing, what processes do you have to make you scalable?
And I even think the order that you answered those in is good sequentially as it stands. Was that by design?
Yeah, kind of.
Because I was thinking about that. And I was like, I was thinking about that, and I was like, the back end, number 3 doesn't matter if you have no idea what number 1 is, because you're going to have nothing to do anyway. So
exactly.
Awesome.
All right. I don't have anything else. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share today?
I am good. I'm already excited for the next episode because who knows what kind of laughter and surprises it will bring. Appreciate you spending some time on here today. People listening at home, I thought about this the last couple episodes. If you guys are curious and subscribing to the podcast, you can go to intentionallyinspirational.com/podcast. And on the player there, in the upper right-hand corner, you can subscribe via Pippa or via Apple Podcast. You can find us pretty much anywhere else podcasts are published as well.
And we appreciate you listening. Go click, man. Subscribe. We want to hear from you. We're excited. We got lots of stuff planned. Looking forward to it.
And on an upcoming show, we're going to bring on our first guest here soon too, aren't we? We won't say who, but
I hope so. I've got a couple of people in mind that I think would be added value. So
now, will we actually be able to do the video with 3 people on the screen?
Should be able to.
Awesome. I might have to upgrade the plan, but hey, we'll make that happen. Awesome. Thank you, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.